I have a secret that I would like to share with you. And this is not a $1 million secret. Instead of a $1 million secret, this is a 100 marathon secret. I know that's kind of weird units to measure a piece of advice or a secret by, but I'm going to deliver on that. So right now, we all know that we consume way too much sugar. How much is too much? The average American consumes 150 pounds of sugar every single year. And sugar is a new thing. Sugar's only been around for about 1,000 years. It's only been around in bulk for about 100 years. And our ancestors only consumed about 5 pounds of sugar a year, and that was typically in the form of honey. So this is something new. This is something our body is not used to. This is something we're not designed for. So the fact that we like it so much and that it's in abundance, we end up over consuming. And what is the problem with sugar? There's three major problems with sugar. And that is that when we consume a lot of sugar, we end up getting an energy slump later on in the day. So if you eat some simple sugar like what's in bread, bread is a simple sugar, or if you have a sugary soda at noon, you often notice in the afternoon you crash, you have very low energy. Whereas if you ate a salad for lunch, you're fine. What's going on here? What's happening is all that sugar that you consume slams into your body at a rate that it was never intended to do. And your body's only response is to sort of respond in an extreme way and release a lot of insulin. And the insulin tells your cells, hey, there's all this excess energy around, there's excess blood sugar, go take care of it. And it ends up overcompensating, your blood sugar drops. The other thing that's going on there, which is the second point, is the main thing that's listening to that insulin signal, that insulin hormone signal, is your fat cells. So that's the only thing that can take that volume of energy in that short amount of time is fat cells. So the second thing is it's making you fat. So anytime you get that low energy, you have too much, your body can't intelligently use that energy and say, oh, I'm gonna use it for muscles, we're gonna use it in the cells. Your body's only thing to do when the rate of ingest of energy is that high, when you consume those simple sugars, is to turn it into fat. So you're getting fat. That's the second problem. So low energy in the day, your body composition changes over time, you start to get fatter. The third thing is you're slamming the system so hard over and over and over again in a way that it was not intended to be. And so you end up basically breaking down the system. The system stops working well. And that's what diabetes is. Diabetes is when this insulin response system starts to break down. So we all knew that. We all know that sugar is really, really bad. We all know that. So why are we fat? You know, that's the second thing here is, behavior change is really hard. And so we know that. So we have three options. And one is we can either stop eating sugary foods. We can stop eating simple carbs. That's option one. Option two is we can run our 100 marathons. We can run the 100 marathons to help burn off that extra caloric intake that we take. 100 marathons this year, no big deal, just go run it. That's option two. Those are both really hard options. And there's a third option, which is the secret. This is the 100 marathon secret, and that is to replace that sugar that you're consuming with a different sweetener, and that sweetener is stevia. So stevia is amazing. Stevia is 0 calories. It's 150 times as sweet as sugar, and I think it tastes great. And it's something that you can just choose to say, hey, instead of using this one white substance, I'm gonna use this other white substance. And this makes use of this thing called the golden rule of habit formation. So in habit formation, habits are governed by this part of our brain that's actually not even related to our memory. It's something that's very powerful. And once you form a habit, it's impossible to undo it. You can basically build a stronger habit that overrides it, but that innate desire to repeat that thing once you have a habit will always be there. And so the golden rule of habit formation is this. A habit loop is comprised of a trigger, a routine, and a reward. And the golden rule is you keep your trigger, you keep your reward, and you swap out your routine. So that's exactly what we're doing here. We're saying, okay, you have the trigger. We're not going to change the world. The world is going to have sweet things around us. You're going to be tempted. You're going to be triggered to go have a cookie. That's like, you're not going to get around that. We're not going to go find a world where there aren't cookies. So you're going to get triggered. And your body is conditioned to get that response. So you just replace the sugar with stevia, and it's this magical thing where you now have the equivalent of, from a caloric balance perspective, run 100 marathons. And what I would really like to do is I am hoping, this is such a powerful thing. I don't think it can be overstated how powerful this is. There's a lot of things we can do to help with our health. Tons of different little ideas, but they're all kind of hard. It take a lot of discipline. This is a super sustainable thing, and it's super easy. And it's really powerful. That's kind of why I call it a secret, and it really is a 100 marathon secret. That's what this is worth. If you're not doing this, I highly encourage you to do it. My goal here is I want 10 people to give up sugar, to throw the sugar out from their house. So step 1 is get rid of your sugar from your house. Step 2 is replace it with stevia. There is no sugar in this house. I haven't had sugar in my house for years. I use stevia for everything. If you're baking, you can use something else called xylitol, but if you're not baking, stevia works great. And this is what it looks like. There's stevia in droppers. You want to get pure stevia. Stevia has, some of them come with fillers. You don't want that. Here's the xylitol. If you're baking, you need some crystallization. You need xylitol. Xylitol is about as sweet as sugar, and it does have, it's not 0 calories, but has a low glycemic index. So anyhow, I hope that was helpful. If this is helpful, and if you do end up doing this, please just send me a private message. That'd be really cool to know that you found this useful, or leave a comment below.